Hey everyone, welcome back to the All Music Matters on That podcast. I'm your host, Brian. Today, I welcome a very special guest. It's our boy, Mick, from the band Shovel Monster. How you doing today, brother?
Good. How about you?
Not too bad. And actually, funny enough, I actually was watching my interview I did with TJ Garcia a while back, and he was actually wearing a Shovel Monster t-shirt.
Nice. Well, we'll get into him too.
Yeah, we'll talk about him in a little bit here too. But how you been recently? What's new?
Yeah, just grinding, trying to make as much music as I can that's quality. And then we've been we only put out a 3-song EP this year. My vocalist, Joseph, he's been kind of working on doing the live shows, and he had a little sick spell. And so we just kind of had things on the back burner. And yeah, now just back at it. So.
That's pretty cool. Is it
Yeah.
just you two, or I guess who's all part of the group?
Yeah, I usually come up with the music. I program the drums and then play the bass and the guitar. And then I've had a few different vocalists for multiple reasons. We originally, when we started when I started Shovel Monster with this other guy, we just started as, just that's the band name. And it wasn't there was no conceptual ideas, just, you know, the debut album is just some songs of kind of the situations through politics and next, stuff like that, and personal, stuff. And then he kind of was working with another band and kind of putting more time into them. So I just kind of was like, I want to put some more stuff out. So I'm gonna go ahead and just find somebody else that has a little more time for me. And so I found Randall, who's in Costa Rica, and he did Day 9, the second, sophomore album. And then this thing's kind of been growing, and so I finally was like, man, I kind of want to do shows again. And with him being in Costa Rica, it kind of was like, it's probably going to be unlikely. So then the third album, yeah, I had Joseph, who I met through, bands online. And so he started Day 9, or Dead and Gone, and then he did HTK, the little EP. And so he's pretty much the current singer, although with him being a little more busy, I'm going to have TJ actually do the next album with me. So we're working on that right now.
Speaking of the devil, TJ
Yeah.
Garcia, is that who you met?
Yep. So we're pretty excited. He's going to be finishing the vocals on the first song tomorrow. So, yeah, and yeah, I think it's just a new plan. It's kind of similar. We're conceptual, like I say, since Day 9. We like the horror stuff, so we kind of go with the horror theme. And we have Shane is the Shovel Monster, and he comes up with, we come up with little stories for him. So that's kind of what our albums have been so far.
The Shovel Monster waiting at the bridge. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. Actually,
Yeah.
me and TJ, we've actually formed our own little group. It's called Demiurge.
Mm,
He does the guitars, and I do drums and vocals.
nice.
So I think it's a little dream come true because I've always been meaning to try out death metal vocals, to say the least, here too. So I'm actually pretty happy. Actually, released our first. I'm gonna call it an album at this point because there's 7 songs on it, and we released it right there on Halloween not too long ago.
Oh, okay.
So
Right on.
happy about that. Let's make it work.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right on.
Actually, funny enough, when you were talking about your album Dead and Gone, it made me think of God Forbid's Gone Forever. That whole album
Oh,
there,
really?
because I guess you both had birds on it. I'm assuming they're both crows, but
Yeah, yeah.
I think God Forbid's is like poking at like a rose or something right there, and it's like maybe a war torn background or something like
Oh,
that.
okay.
So
Yeah, to be honest, I heard God Forbid back in the early 2000s maybe, but I never really got into them that much. I don't know why, but so I'd have to look it up to even know what you're talking about.
you know what I mean. But
Yeah,
but that God Forever album, that was actually a pretty killer one.
yeah.
So, yeah.
I'll check it out. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, which part of the world are you hailing from? Actually,
Arizona.
in Arizona. I thought I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
seeing Montana on your sweatshirt there.
I love Montana, so I'm actually from Washington State, but I do go up to Montana roughly once a year. Um, so yeah, I just love Montana. So nice and peaceful and nature up there.
Perfect for an introvert. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
that's it. I'm an introvert as well here too, so it's all good.
yeah, yeah.
All right. So Mick, welcome to my podcast right here. The way it's going to work is, guys, some questions. Let's get to know the man behind the music, but also as the individual as well here too. So, ready?
Yep.
All right. So start here at the beginning right here. So who are you? I guess what's your story about how you became a musician?
Yeah, I'm Mick, creator of Shovel Monster. Basically, I've always loved music. I know when I was a kid, I was always humming songs, and I was able to keep the beat, but I really didn't start getting into, I guess, playing until my late teens. I know in high school, my buddy played guitar, and he came over and we plugged in his little, I think it was a 1x10 combo amp. He had a pickup truck, and then we'd plug it in outside in the front, driveway. And we were just sitting in the back of the bed of the truck just playing. And of course, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And I stumbled upon 1965, from White Zombie. It was just by accident, pure accident. And then that kind of got me like, oh man, this was cool, And so then, yeah, fast forward till I was 19, 20 years old. I actually bought my first guitar and just started self-teaching, watching videos, just playing really. So, but that's where I started, how I started, and then I actually had to sell all my stuff back in 2008 when the market took a dump, and didn't pick up the guitar. I got an acoustic guitar in 2017, I think it was, and then a year or so, maybe 17, maybe 18 or 19 is when I bought my first electric again, and finally started getting, really enjoying playing again. And next thing you know, you see my studio back here. It's it's gotten quite out of hand almost, to be frank. But yeah, then I think it was 21. My buddy and I were, like, hey, let's do it, and because something we wanted to do for probably 15 years and just couldn't make it happen. And so then we did, we came up with Shovel Monster and put it out, and here we are. It's been fun.
Guys, why did you have to sell your stuff? I guess outside.
The market, I lost my job. The market in 2008 when everything crashed.
Oh, crash, yeah.
Yeah, I lost my job, and I had to sell all my guitars, my Harley. Like it was down to brand new Dickie pants. I was selling, I was selling everything just to eat pretty much. So you appreciate things after you go through something like that.
Makes you a lot more humble. So yeah, I can see why.
Yeah.
That was pretty rough. So
Yeah.
and I guess when you picked up the acoustic guitar, I guess after so long of a period of time, I guess did it just come naturally afterward? Did you have to like really think?
No, it took, yeah, it was basically like starting over almost because I was self-taught, like I say, and I mean, I know certain chords, which I don't play that. I mean, I play basic chords, but I don't play like, so there's still a bunch of stuff I don't know, and I get the gist of things, but I play what I like to hear. I like groovy, heavy, and that's kind of what I try and stick to.
Maybe groovy. That will do.
Yeah.
Try to get like a little funkin' into it as well here too.
Well, I mean, we got a Bob Marley cover coming out here shortly too, so.
Always saying stand up for your rights. Is that
Yep.
that one?
It's it's the Exodus, yeah.
Oh man. All right, this ought to be interesting. But
Yeah.
I guess let's go jump into that music right there too. So I guess let's first start with the name. So I guess was it pretty much inspired by horror movies?
Shovel Monster? No. My son was playing Shovel Knight, and I was like, I for whatever reason, shovel. I love that word shovel. I don't know. It stuck with me, and so I was just like, what could I put with shovel that would be cool? And I just came across Monster and was like, Shovel Monster. And was like, that kind of sounds decent, and that's kind of what we agreed on, and that's what we kept.
So they put a U at the end and be Shovel Monster University.
Right.
The SMU instead of Southern Methodist, so we can see why. And, so I guess explain the history a little bit more. I guess so. 2017, you pick up the guitar again, and I guess 2018 is really when you started taking it more serious. And then where'd you go from there?
Yeah. I would say that's when I picked up the electric again, and kind of was starting to get. My wife, I think, back in probably 18 or 19, bought me a little combo amp, and I just started improving much better and just enjoying it like I used to, and I was like, shit, with technology these days, why can't I, do something, and then that's kind of where it kind of aspired from. And I was learning like years ago when I was playing like in probably 2002. It was direct connect for me. It was like an auxiliary cable from my. I think I figured out a way to do it into my my DAW on my computer, but it wasn't the best quality. And fast forward to now, I was trying to mic the cab, and it just wasn't sounding the cleanest. And then so I was watching YouTube videos, and they're like, "Oh yeah, there's DI," So I was looking into DI, and I was like, "Wow, this." So then I just started, getting different gear to be able to suit that situation, of being able just to DI everything, and then that I bought my back in 20, I think it was early 22 or it might have been late 21. I bought a Rev D20, and I was gonna get the G20 because it has the G3 pedal in it, but I already had the pedal, so I was like, well, there's no point in that. So it's the heavy distortion pedal, but so I went with that, and that's what I recorded with the three first albums with. So
I do have to ask about some of your song titles because it seems like it was always like a case number, so it's almost like it was a true detective sort of shit going on right there. So I guess what's the inspiration behind that?
So Dead and Gone was, essentially 2 point of views. So if you notice, there's like 4 songs with names, and then there's, and then there's 4 other songs like Bleed and Bludgeoned. So the names like Chad, that's Chad's point of view, and then Bleed or Bludgeon, those are Shane's point of view. So it's kind of, so that's how it is. And then we were trying to think of like how could we do that, and so we like, we could do like missing people, missing case, or cold cases, and so we like, oh, and then all the numbers it's just their names, in the alphabet, like 1 for A, 2 B, and so we did it like that, cold case kind of thing. So
oh, that's clever. I guess, did you ever watch that TV series Cold Case?
I think so. I think I've seen some episodes.
Not like the whole thing, like the whole way through. It did look like an interesting one. So
yeah. No, I mean, there's so much to watch. It's hard to. I know I've watched some episodes. I don't know which ones. I couldn't tell you which ones, but yeah, we like stuff like that. Horror movies and true crime and stuff like that. So, but yeah,
life gets in the way. So yeah.
Yep.
Just real quick, that shovel behind you, is that your brand logo, I guess?
Yeah, it's a So I was trying to think of some merch, different merch besides just a shirt and stickers, and so it's just a mini shovel, and it's got our logo SM on there, and then it's got some blood splatter on it. So that you can find that on our website if you actually want to own one. There's like probably I think I've made that's the prototype, and then I think I've got 3 out there. So yeah, 2 or 3, something like that. So not many people have them.
Let's hope not too many people get it. Otherwise, I think it might be a high crime statistic. I think people are going to look at it and be like, what did you do with that shovel, man?
Yeah. Well, I know I might need to put a stamp on the back that says that we're not liable for any physical,
There's like no animals or people were harmed in the making of this shovel. So yeah. Actually, there were a couple funny quotes involving shovels. Did you ever watch the show Ed, Ed and Eddie way back in the day?
I think I've seen a couple episodes. Yeah.
There actually was some funny quotes from one of the characters named Ed. And
really?
Well, this one in particular, it was like, "That is right, son. The mind is a terrible organ to shovel." So,
nice.
There's that one too. But actually, the other one I was thinking of, which I don't know who really influenced you in terms of your metal style here too, but one of the death metal bands I listened to called Suffocation.
Yeah.
Near the end of their song "Infecting the Crypts," you hear what someone's like digging a grave or something, or like exhuming. I'm assuming that's what it was. So.
Yeah, we have a couple like that too.
Okay.
Yeah. There's on the end of it's Boneyard. The end of Boneyard there's some shovel work, and then in the first album on the first song, there's some digging and carrying like something, So
you cue the Motivate song "Dig." So.
Yep. So.
Good I guess jumping into influences here too. I guess who was it that really like inspired you to pick up the guitar in the beginning, and then I guess pick it up afterwards after you I guess wanted to get back into it?
Yeah. Um, I love back in high school, I love Pantera. They're probably one of my White Zombie Pantera, were probably my go-to back then. And yeah, I don't know if I love Dimebag's work. I love the groove. Like I say, that's just something that just gets your head, banging, and that's just what I love. Yeah. So I would just say he was definitely an influence. I don't know. I think I'm not. I think I'm a little different than everybody else who they had more influence as far as like this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna play guitar and I want to be like this guy. I knew I wasn't gonna be as good as Dime or anybody else, and I just wanted to play essentially and play what I wanted to listen to. And so, but I love Skin Lab too. Like late '90s, that's when I got into Skin Lab. That's one of my big influences as well. So
Trying to remember Skin Lab. Actually, I thought you were gonna say Skinless at first. So
there's a song that I don't mind. I think it's called like Overlord or something like that. Um, but no, Skin Lab. They were from Oakland, not Oakland, somewhere over by San Francisco, I think. But yeah, they're kind of like the Machine Head type, kind of a little bit. But I don't know. I like them better than Machine Head, honestly. But
I'd say I hear more Machine Head to be honest with you too. So I don't know if I should contest that or not. But I have to check it out. That's actually the first time I heard about Skin Lab. So thanks for bringing it
yeah,
up.
they just came out with a new song too, which I'll have to listen to a few more times. But yeah, if you go back to their second album, it's called The Second Skin, or I forget what the fuck it's called. It's like Disembody the Second Skin or something like that. But it's 1999. If you go back to that, it's like an orangish cover. That's definitely their best album, I think.
Well, we were talking about Pantera earlier. I mean, they were shading skin. I guess they got down to their second skin at some point. So
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I think that's tough. Pantera too. They have such good songs, but they're probably Far Beyond Driven's probably the top one for me. Yeah.
I always have to laugh with that one because I actually did not know about this. Instead of like the drill going into the guy's head, it was meant to go up his butt. So, and I think like, you know what? That's kind of a little disturbing, but it would be those guys in Pantera.
Yeah.
I guess they had to sell like so many copies of it to so many people. So
Right.
giving people a little history lesson here too. So
Yeah.
kids, cover your eyes.
Yeah. But yeah, Pantera. I think my least favorite album would probably be Cowboys. I don't know. It's just
Really?
a little too 80s ish for me, I guess. Which I don't mind 80s. Don't get me wrong, but um, I don't know. I think it's just starting with Vulgars when it really was getting good for me.
I say it was like the Judas Priest, a little bit more of a heavier tune whenever you think about it.
Yeah, definitely.
Though I will contest, I do love Cemetery Gates. I'd say I think that one's my
It's not
favorite.
bad. Yeah, like Domination, yeah, Cemetery Gates, yeah, those are. I mean, I'm not saying I don't like the songs. I like them, but they're not my go-to when I listen to them.
I actually did the song Floods from their Great Sudden Trendkill album as a
That's a
drum
great.
cover because I'm a drummer.
Yeah. That's a great song.
You know what it is? And, it's a little deceiving at times whenever you're first playing on drums because you think there's a little pattern. And Vinny, the technical genius that he is, he actually mixes it up at times. So
Yeah.
I got to really think it through.
Yeah. No, that's a great song.
I guess just real quick while we're on the topic here too, I guess, what do you think of Pantera's little reunion with Zach Wilde and Charlie Benante?
I mean, I kind of regret not seeing him. My buddy had an extra ticket, and I was like, man, it was on the other side of town, so it was like an hour and a half away. I was like, you know what? As much fun as that would be, I just don't want to drive that far. But I don't have a problem with it. I mean, if they were alive, yeah, I don't think it probably would have happened. But they're not, unfortunately, and I think it's fine. It is what it is. I mean, all kinds of bands do reunions and stuff with non-original members. I mean, shit. I think uh, Survivor. I don't even think they have a original member anymore. You know, like just it is what it is. I think it's fine.
Yeah, I guess so. So I guess we'll have to put that shovel to use to exhume their bodies and do like a Frankenstein experiment.
Right. Well, I think they used. I think Zach Wild was a good choice too.
And then again, he is the Holy One that we wanted to call it that. Since he always referred
Yeah.
to Dime as like Saint Dime. And then those other ones. No, Saint Rhodes. And I think he was real big into Saint or Randy Rhodes. So that's
Yeah.
why anyone who was like a big inspiration to him, he would refer to him as a saint. So,
Mm.
yeah, I love the guy though too, even though he was a little crazy bastard at times.
Yeah.
But may they rest in peace. We'll miss you, boys. Actually, do you try to do anything similar to Dime? Like maybe what you hear on Alluvial, for instance. Like sometimes he'll mess around with some noises. I think it was Fogbelt. Yeah, Fogbelt had like some guitar amplifying that he was doing or whatever it is. Do you try anything like that for your music?
Not really. Yeah, not really. Just maybe some dissonant stuff, but nothing crazy.
Never
So
really
yeah,
reached that point yet. So
yeah. I don't know. Yeah, not really. Not really.
yeah,
But
it was worth a try. We'll get down to it down the road at some point. So,
yeah.
so to jump into the next hard topic of COVID right here too, because obviously you went through a rough road right there with the financial crisis and everything.
Yeah.
Hit the guitar, and then like 3 years later, you have to shut down because of COVID here too. So, how bad was COVID for you personally, family, and music wise?
Um, music wise, it really didn't affect me because I hadn't really started much. Um, and so we were just recording the album at home like we usually do in the first place. So that didn't affect me at all. Personally, I was still worked. I didn't get time off or anything for that, which was good. Um, the only for me, it was just a personal decision. I changed positions and it ended up being a desk job for a couple years, and at the same time, the gym shut down, and so it kind of affected my health a little bit because I couldn't work out, and I was sitting at my job for 12 hours a day, and it just was a bad combination of things that kind of started gaining weight when I, was so just yeah, I'm still working all that to get back into everything. So, but yeah, other than that, it didn't really affect me. So
Maybe
yeah,
not so much physically, but more so mentally.
yeah, absolutely, yeah. But fortunately, I was still able to work. So
Yeah, it's always a good thing, even though I think they deprived you of nap time, which I would always argue that was the best thing about COVID.
absolutely.
Oh, yeah. So, I guess, did you ever get COVID? I guess, were you and your family okay?
No, yeah, we never got anything. Yeah. I don't really think anybody in our family really got it either. Actually, no, my father-in-law did. He did get it a couple times, but he's good. He's all good. But yeah, I don't know anybody personally that had any real issues.
That's good to hear. Good to have you around here for the ride, Mick. So,
Yeah, yeah.
so I don't know which part of Arizona you are hailing from, but I guess normally I like to ask this question because I normally like to see like how the music scene has been,
hmm
whether even pre and like post COVID here too. So, I guess which city are you close by to, and I guess how's the music scene been from your perspective?
I'm a suburb of Phoenix, and before before making music, I really didn't go to shows for the past 15 years or so. So I'd say probably 2007-ish is probably the last time I went to shows. Just because priorities changed, my life changed a little bit, like I say, financially and everything, and got out of playing. So it just, like I say, it just wasn't a priority. And then once I started getting into playing again, then I started going to shows, and I do remember the scene back in the day, and it seems like there was a lot more venues and just a lot more going on. Um, there's still some venues here, and I know there's a scene. I'm still figuring out some local bands here. I know there's a few that I associate with, um, but yeah, I mean, I'm to be honest, I'm not in that scene that much because we don't play live, right now. So we're trying to. We're hopefully gonna be able to try and do something in 25. That's what we're hopefully planning. Although we were trying to do something this year too, so didn't really plan out like or pan out like we planned. So unfortunately,
Yeah, I can understand why. And have you ever played live yet with Shovel Monster yet?
not for Shovel Monster. No, I played live back years ago, but no, we have not played live. We were trying to make it happen this year, but unfortunately, yeah, it just didn't pan out. I'm having a serious trouble finding a drummer, but my vocalist, he lives in Mississippi, and he's got his band for his stuff, and so I think what we're gonna do is just use his band, and then I'll just play the guitar, obviously, and then I'll just use his bass player and drummer for my stuff, and we'll hopefully piggyback on some shows, do a little mini tour, or, over a couple weeks, traveling either between Mississippi and Arizona or something. So see what happens.
It just popped in my head here too. It's almost like if you are gonna do a mini tour, just call it the new Great Sudden Tread Kill. I like that.
Yeah.
As a homage to Pantera right there too. So
Right.
how'd you meet this guy from Mississippi? And I guess I don't know if you told the story earlier about TJ. I guess how'd you meet TJ?
Well, basically just trying to market Shovel Monster, just finding bands, finding groups on Facebook, and just following, trying to do the follow for follow kind of deal, and yeah, just trying to get people to aware of Shovel Monster, and then just running into these guys on the side, and then talking to them on Messenger and getting to know them a little bit, and that's kind of how we met. And just some of these guys like TJ and my singer Joseph, they, I like their music, so that kind of helped to spark up a relationship and a friendship, So yeah, and just I was looking for another singer because I was Costa Rica is a little far away to try and figure out shows ahead of time, and so Joseph was, he was doing basically what I'm doing, and he can do vocals. So I was like, you know what? I'll just ask him if he wants to do it. And at first he thought that I was asking him to do like a guest, vocal spot on there. And I was like, no, man, do you want to be the guy, And he said, sure. So here we are. And like I say, he's been since September, October, he's been hitting hard live shows with his band, and so Shovel Monster's been kind of taking a back burner for him, and I got so much music because I play all the time, and I'm just like, man, why don't you keep doing your live thing for a little bit, and I'll go use TJ for this next album, and I think we're gonna still use my singer for like a guest spot on one of the songs. But the next album is going to be kind of like I would say like a prequel. So it's going to be like more psychological and not as much physical, physical killing. So it'll be like, the kid growing up and him suffering the abuse that he suffered, and then his thoughts and his mental, what his mentality was, and maybe like, wanting to do these things but just wasn't old enough or didn't have the courage yet, or didn't turn bananas yet, and actually go through with it. So that's where this next album's going.
So it's a metal album when you start talking about dark stuff. So
yeah.
But it's the horror, even emotional or physical trauma that people kind of went through, I guess. And I guess I know I'm jumping ahead here, but does your lyrics, are they normally telling stories, or is they kind of based on your personal experience?
The first album was more personal, but since Day 9, which is the sophomore album, everything is just a story that we come up with. Day 9 was just kind of the, the birth, I guess, of Shane and kind of telling a little bit of that story. And then Dead and Gone was like, okay, let's develop a little more of a story and let's just kind of go in like, Friday the 13th type of deal. And let's just, here's 4 people, let's fucking kill them, And then the HTK, which is the EP, that's one story, 3 songs. It's like, he goes to hunt his bully, he tortures his bully, and then he kills his bully. So, yeah.
Jesus, you're dark. It was like, this is like Jason Voorhees sort of shit going on right now.
Yeah. I mean, we love that horror stuff, so.
What I'll say is, this isn't one of those things they like got thrown into a lake and then they get resurrected somehow from Crystal Lake. Is that how it goes?
Not necessarily, but yeah.
It's along those lines. All right, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I guess which like horror movies were you really into? Do you normally like the ones that are like psychological thrillers, or do you like into the ones that sometimes are the gory, like what you see with like Terrifier, for instance?
Terrifier's great. Yeah. Even though the one that it's not related, but it's the same character. It's all I forget the title. It's a 3-word title. I forget it. But anyway, I liked his character in that movie too. But yeah, I typically like the gory ones, sometimes I'm not smart enough to figure out the psychological ones. But I do like the blood and the guts, and so I like the Texas Chainsaw and the Hills Have Eyes and the Friday the 13th, the Halloween, the classics. And obviously there's a ton in between, like all Rob Zombies. 31 was good, and some of those. So I don't really. I prefer the blood and guts, but I'll watch pretty much anything as far as that goes.
I actually remember my first horror way back in the day. It was actually with PS1. I don't know how much you are into video games, but on the PS1 there was a game called Dino Crisis, and it was kind of like a not Final Destination. It was more of a Resident Evil. It was more like Resident Evil sort of style.
Yeah.
And it was the first time. Obviously, it's pretty bad, pixelated blood and gore, that sort of stuff here too. But it's the whole thing that kind of set the stage for like getting ready for like Jurassic Park, that sort of stuff. Whenever you got around to it. So
yeah, I remember playing the PS1 Resident Evil back in the day. I don't mind the old games, but some of those first person games I can't play. It messes with my head, my eyes. Just just moves too quickly for my brain, I guess. I don't know. But those old games, I bought the it's like an updated, it's like I think back in 2016, I think for the PS4, the original Resident Evil. So it's pretty badass. You can play it on the PS4, and it's a little bit updated and a little, but it's cool. So
remastered. So,
yeah, I think it is remastered. Yeah.
And actually, recently I started getting into some of these little reels on Facebook. There's actually these gamers. I'm assuming they're all doing it on Steam or something on their computer, but they're all horror-related games. So you get a whole lot of these jump scares where it's just right here. The next thing you know, it's like right in your face. It's like some figured face. And there's like they're all freaking out and everything too.
Yeah. I know my son played that Five Nights at Freddy's, and I think that does that to on there as well.
Yeah, watch out for the killer animatronics. So, yeah. And I was trying to remember, there was lost it right there. I was trying to remember one of the other horror games I was like really into, but we'll come back around to it at some point. Let's see what I remember.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and jump to the studio here. So I guess just where all the magic happens.
Yeah. My wife was fortunate and gracious enough to let me have a room, and luckily I have enough space for all my goodies, and I make my shirts here too. For my website, sell shirts, and I make the shovel, obviously. But yeah, this is where it happens, sitting right here at this desk, and usually starting with music, I usually throw in some drums, and I go from, depending on how my mood is, I'll go from 120 to 200 BPM. Just depends on my mood, like I say, and what my thought is. Because sometimes it's like, oh, I just want to write a new song. I don't have any ideas. Sometimes I'm like, you know what? I want to go fucking fast today. So, I'll bump it up to 180, 200, and I'll just throw some drum tracks in just to get started. And then I just listen to the drums for a second. And then I just start playing. And that's how I, build my songs. And then once I get my songs, I'll adjust the drums a little bit more. Yeah, and that's pretty much the process. So usually I just lay down the guitars, get the song where it's at. Once I like it, then I'll re-record everything on, with new strings and whichever amp I'm choosing at that time. So.
Because what brand are your guitars? And I guess what's your drum module, and I guess which DAW are you using?
So I use Logic Pro because I have a Mac. Yeah, and guitars. I really love ESP LTDs, but which most of my gear is, except for I do have a Solar baritone that I've been really gravitating to, and I did pick up a Keith Merrow Schecter not too long ago. It's a really nice guitar, but I play in a lower tuning, so it wouldn't work for that. But yeah, I've been gravitating to the Solar baritone lately, probably for the past year, roughly.
Sorry, but you're still going there. Actually, I was looking at some of the stuff behind you there too. It's actually
Yeah.
reminds me of what Wayne Noon from like Absalon and Severed Angel has. So
Yeah.
those aren't
Yeah.
plushies, are they?
Those are Funko Pops.
Funko Pops.
Yeah, Funko Pops. But yeah, I got a. They're all LTD except for that Solar, and then I have that Schecter over there that you can't see. But there's a metal, the black metal. That's a Viper 400, I think it is. Then there's the EC 1000 baritone, and the Solar, and then the Viper baritone, and then I have a 4-string long scale bass to play the bass. So I've been doing the first few albums. I didn't care as much on the bass for some stupid reason, but lately I've been really trying to be more efficient and better clarity, and just have the sound better. So hopefully people will notice that. If they haven't noticed it, then that's good too, I guess. but yeah, hopefully, yeah. They might know. No. We might cut this part out, but
it'll come later. Don't worry about that. It'll come later. So
yeah.
Right. So I have to go back to the horror stuff right here too. But I remember what I wanted to say. Did you see that movie, A Quiet Place?
Yeah.
Because they actually did a video game of it. It looks pretty hard because I guess the computer mic, does it where like if you're able to like talk into it, for instance, the monsters will hear you.
I heard about that. Yeah, that's a pretty cool idea and everything. I did try to watch the latest one, that's supposed to be like Day One or whatever, prequel or whatever. I don't know. I just couldn't get into it for whatever reason, but that is a cool concept though, with them being able to hear what if you make a noise or cough or something, that's pretty cool.
I guess so. I thought maybe they'd be a good distance away. It's like
that's that's pretty cool. Yeah.
kind of. Actually, there was actually the video game too, and then going back to what I was talking about earlier with those gamers who too. I guess one of the characters ended up dying, and like he was like kind of yelling at the other guy. Was like, "This is your fault right here. That blood's on your hands." That whole deal. And unfortunately, one of the characters made a noise. So.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. Gotta stay quiet.
Yeah, that's cool though.
I would say that was actually smart. That was actually a smart one. So I could see why it earned critical acclaim for the work it did.
That is awesome.
That's for sure. All right. So I guess when you're creating new songs, for instance, do you always start with the music first and then throw in the lyrics last, or sometimes vice versa?
Yeah, it's always music. Because the debut album, I did one song lyrics. My singer did the rest. Day 9, I did maybe 40% of the lyrics. And then Dead and Gone, I helped with one song only because it was the first song that I kind of was helping the previous singer out a little bit. And when I made the decision to switch singers, I already had some of the lyrics, so I just but other than that, he took over. And then so far, TJ's came up with the lyrics. We've come up with the idea, and hey, here's some ideas, on what we can do. And so far, he's come up with the first song, so we'll see how the next song goes, and we're hoping to be done with the album because, like I told you before, I pretty much all my songs are done, but they're not CD or MP3 quality. It's just demo. It's the demo version. It's just what I came up with to build the song. So now I just got to re-record these songs, and I actually got to choose the songs. You can probably, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a list of all my tracks that I have. So I just got to go through each of those and see if that's a song I like, that should be on this album or not, and then re-record it. And then I already have the second song done, and TJ's working on finishing the vocals tomorrow. So then he'll be done with that hopefully tomorrow, send it off to the mix, and then we'll be starting the next song, hopefully this next week, as far as lyrics go. And hopefully we're trying to bust out lyrics for the songs every 2 weeks or so, 3 weeks. Trying to get done with it maybe by March, hopefully. So hopefully we can come out with something maybe by April, May, something like that. Yeah. So we'll see.
I guess you could have listed that Shovel Monster featuring Waiting at the Bridge. Or is it just going to be?
I don't know. That's a good question. I think it's just going to be he's the singer for that album. I don't know how I'm going to present it really. I need to think about that really, to be honest. But right now I'm just kind of concentrating on the stories and trying to come up with new stories for this album, and yeah, just kind of making sure this is good. And I don't know. We just got on with Phase B Records over. They're based out of the UK, and so pretty excited about that. And that guy's actually mixing our stuff this time, and stuff's gonna sound pretty good. I think he's already started it. He's got a ways to go, but he's waiting for the vocals, obviously, but it's gonna sound pretty good. I think it's gonna be step in the right direction, and it's pretty cool too because we'll have vinyl available. I think cassettes are going to be available and CDs as well pretty shortly. So that'll be fun, and it's going to help us out, being that they're over there in the UK. It's just me doing shirts and everything over here and trying to ship it to Australia and all these places. It just gets too expensive for me. So I can't remember. I sent a CD to Australia and I think it was like $25 or something. And imagine if I had like 5 people or 10 people and then UK on top of that. And it's just like, man, it would be expensive, And then and it's hard to try and convince these people to pay for that shipping too, It's like I'm thankful for them just considering buying anything from me. So I don't want to have them pay for any more than they have to. So yeah, this will just make things a lot easier for people that actually want some merch from us. So I do have a website, like I say, but it's slow, of course. I have sold.
In the beginning, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's just something extra that hopefully people can help me, because it is expensive to get things mixed and uploaded. You got to pay for the distribution, and so if some merch can kind of help with that a little bit, that was the whole goal behind that.
That's for sure. Because do you use DistroKid, or I guess what's sort of distribution?
Yeah, DistroKid. Yeah.
It seems to be the way. I think I've heard TuneCore, and then I'm not too sure if there's any other ones really. It seems to be like main two.
There's quite a few, but they're like one of the main ones There's,
I thought DistroKid was like the cheapest one you can probably go for.
I don't know if they're the cheapest. I don't think they're the cheapest, to be honest.
No.
No, I don't think so. But that's what I started with, and that's just it's just easier to keep it that way. So we'll just keep it. It's
That's
not
cool.
crazy. Yeah, it's not crazy expensive, but it is what it is. You want your music
Big
out
do
there,
you?
you know. Yeah, it's kind of a double-edged sword. You know, you want your music out there, but you gotta you gotta do what you gotta do. You know. So
Yeah. I guess this phase B, I guess, did they reach out to you? I guess how'd you find out about them?
yeah, I mean, I've seen them online because I think a couple of the bands we talked to or are friends with, and they got on with them, and yeah, they reached out to us and gave me all the details, and I didn't see a negative side to it. So, and the guy has been super cool, and we've been messaging back and forth, and even about personal stuff. So it's been cool, fun experience, and I don't see a negative side to it. So, um, so yeah, there's no, there's no rush for us to, no deadlines, as of right now anyway. There's no deadlines for us to, you need to have this out now, and you need to do this and that, and we're still, independent and be able to do what we want still.
Just go for a nice pace and everything too. So
Yeah, like for me, since we're not doing live shows, I can put out 2 albums a year, probably no problem, which we have. But if we were on some sort of label, real label, we'd be required to do 1 million shows a year, and an album every year or two, whatever their requirements are, and not sure. No, and trust me, nobody's banging down our door for that to happen. But just speaking, that if that were the case, I'm not sure I'd want it, just because, like I say, that's just added stress to me, and I don't know if it's really necessary nowadays, too. I mean, I guess it would help to probably gain audience, right? But it's a lot more stress trying to maintain what the label requires. But
I would say they're banging down your door. I would say that's probably the FBI coming through. So,
it shouldn't be, but yeah, it could be.
hopefully not. But I can see why, and I guess this could kind of tie in what challenges you too. So outside of maybe trying to get the bandmates to actually do the shows, I guess what sort of challenges do you face these days?
Well, like I kind of mentioned earlier, is finding a drummer has been pretty much impossible. Um, Bass player I could find if need be, but I mean, a lot of bands do backing tracks. Um, Other than that, as long as Joseph is still willing, we'll just, I'll use his bandmates, and we'll just tag team, which hopefully that appeals to certain venues. Hey, we got 2 bands, boom, ready to go. You don't have to, that helps the venue not have to find somebody else to fill that slot. But yeah, that's been the challenge, is just finding, a drummer. Um, and like I say, I haven't been successful yet. So
But we're still working on it. But
yeah,
I guess what in terms of like marketing and AI, do you think maybe that's maybe also a challenge as well?
yeah. I mean, I haven't really done a whole lot of marketing or AI or anything in the last probably 6 months or year, probably, actually. I don't know. I just kind of, I was gung ho on Facebook and Instagram, trying to post every day and trying to reach out and find people and bands and stuff, and then it just got kind of tiring, exhausting, and now I'm just kind of, if I feel like posting, I will. I haven't really expanded too much. I don't know. I'm just trying not to stress myself out about it, and I'm just trying to enjoy playing music, and that's kind of where I'm at with it. Like, I'm okay with, if no more people find us, then that it is what it is. If 1,000 more people find us, that's great too. Yeah, I mean, of course, I'd love to have more people hear us and find us, but at a certain point, you just gotta find that neutral, zone where you're comfortable, and maybe we'll, with this phase B too, they'll be able to help market us a little bit, and that'll help out, I'm sure, quite a bit. So we'll see how that helps, and if it helps. And like I say, I don't think I can lose being with phase B. I think it's a good decision, and I think so far they've been treating us right and nice people. So, and the other bands that I know of are good peeps too. So yeah, so I'm excited actually for the future. So
That's good to hear.
yeah.
I guess real quick, what social media are you on?
We have Instagram, Facebook. You can find our music on pretty much any platform. Some shit I've never checked out. Like, I think there's a Deezer or some shit like that. I don't know. Never heard of some of these ones, but we're on, I think, everything. Apple, um, yeah, Pandora even now we're on there. Yeah, yeah, pretty much. Those are I don't really I don't do TikTok. Um, just stick to pretty much IG and FB. So.
I've always been a little confused about TikTok because I thought the U.S. government was actually suing TikTok.
Yeah.
I thought they wanted to like have it based more in the U.S. so the Chinese weren't like stealing our confidential data or anything. That's what I thought was going on because I actually thought about trying it because I've heard about some of the things like how good it was for musicians. So I don't know. Did you hear anything about TikTok?
I mean, I don't remember what I know. People are telling me I should be getting on there, but I don't know. It's just another thing for me to worry about because I have my website to worry about too, and trying to make these, come up with ideas for these conceptual albums, and it's just a lot already. So it's like another freaking app. I'm not sure I want to deal with that, So I don't know. I don't know. I really don't want to have to waste more time on another app, to be honest.
Yeah, with just IG and FB, it's another job in and of itself. So
It is, because I'm doing everything by myself. So as far as the marketing and the website and making those shirts, I make those by hand. I buy the shirts, but I press everything. I do all that stuff, and of course the shovel when that happens, that takes time. All that stuff takes time. So I only have so much time, and I love my wife, so I like to spend time with my wife too. So and like I say, she's gracious enough to give me this room, so I got to make her happy too. Keep her happy. So I can only have so much time to do the things that I like to do by myself.
and also make sure she keeps you in the bed at night too. So
Yep. Got to keep her happy. I mean,
actually, I was just gonna ask, like, how do you press the shirts? Is it the machine right behind you, or is that like a 3D printer back there?
it's the Cricut. Cricut. So it's just a machine that cuts out. You can use different materials. So I have, you have the vinyl, the heat iron on vinyl, and you upload a picture into this Cricut system on your computer, and then like I have my logo. If you go to my website, you can see my logo, but you can see on the shirts too on the website. But that's my logo, and just it cuts it out, and then I just got to peel the part that I don't want on the shirt, and then I put it, make sure the shirt's all nice, clean, put it on there, and then I have a Cricut press, and I just put my body weight pretty much on it, and it heats it. It's a press, but it doesn't like manual like the the industrial ones or whatever. But you just got to put a little weight on it, and that's pretty much it. But a lot more involved than it sounds. But especially with your logo, and it has little pieces you got to make sure to come out, and it's a little tedious, but it's still actually kind of fun. So, but
I was yeah, well, it does sound actually maybe tedious after a while here too. But yeah, it sounded like it was a lot more required than what it should have been. Probably just one of those big ones you just pull down like this.
Yeah, and
that's how it went.
Yeah, it's not too bad, but it's not. People don't order enough for it to be too crazy tedious, because like I say, it depends. Like sometimes I'll get 2 a month, sometimes I won't get any for 6 months. So it's not enough to actually make be annoying to me. So I get excited actually when it's like an order comes in. It's like, wow, cool. Because especially like I haven't been doing any promoting or really. I did yesterday for this weekend, but nothing's came in yet. But
They were came in. It's like, oh, hallelujah.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, absolutely.
yeah. Actually, going back to social media here real quick. I actually thought it was you and then Anger Overdose who were like the big ones in like our indie community, or the ones who are like promoting
Yeah,
a
yeah.
lot of stuff here too. So are you still part of that band together group on Facebook?
Yeah, I am on there. I don't know. Facebook's weird too because sometimes it doesn't show me stuff. It shows me stuff I don't follow. Like it's so weird. The algorithm is just jacked up because I don't see a lot of stuff that from people that I follow. Um, but occasionally I see, things. It's just weird. I don't understand it. But
Yeah,
yeah,
Mark Zuckerberg's in trouble, we should say.
well, you see, he was at Mar-a-Lago here yesterday, I think, or the day before or something. But hopefully, hopefully he can get Facebook back to normal.
It'd be nice. Just bow right before the master. That'll be.
Yeah, like come on, man, freedom of speech here. Let's go.
Actually, I was going to say it's the whole paying homage to the king right now. So like, forgive me, master, for I have sinned, or something
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
I'm
So,
sorry.
but
Yeah.
I want to delve into this question right here too. For those musicians on Band Together, or really anywhere on social media, and even in your neck of the woods too, I guess, what sort of advice would you give them?
Ugh. Just my advice would be just have fun, create the music you want to create, have fun, and try not to worry about numbers and streaming numbers and all that nonsense. Just that stuff will come, and just as long as you're having fun, I think is the main thing. I think if you put out good music, and it's just a matter of time, before somebody finds you.
I think I
That's
always
my
like the quote. It's like, we're going live. Fuck it. Kind of deal.
yeah. That's
So,
that's my little 2 cents.
that's pretty good. So I can see why. All right.
Yeah.
Mick, maybe your questions here are pretty good. So here, let's get into the fun ones. Ready?
Okay.
So let's start here with the first one. So I've always questioned about this one because it delves into food, for instance, but I always thought people's food taste always changed after a certain period of time.
Mm.
So I guess what would you say is currently your favorite food?
That's so tough because I love food. I'm trying to get back to dieting and eating, right like I should be. Um, I love sushi, which isn't unhealthy, but I love sushi. We have this place right across the street, and it's just so good every time we get it. We just never disappointed. So I'd say sushi's probably one of my favorite. Yeah.
It was I actually drove by Phoenix, and this was actually a couple of years back. There's a little bit of a funny story, but how's Phoenix like this time of the year and outside the cooler weather?
Um, well, like you say, it's gets in the like in the mornings, it's like in the low 40s. So for us, that's a big drop. But it's chilly in the daytime. It's perfect though. Yeah, it's you can't beat it in the wintertime during the day. It's perfect.
I'd say it's pretty diverse when it comes to like the food. Like outside of
Oh
sushi,
yeah,
there's
yeah.
like Chinese over here, then you got
Oh yeah,
German style. So yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, 1000%. Yeah, we got Mexican, plenty of Mexican places. Like you said, Chinese sushi places. Yeah, it's lots to choose from.
funny story that actually happened was knowing me and a couple of family members of mine, we've always done these like little tours with this company called Talk, and we made the mistake of not scheduling a day early, so that way you can just rest and make sure you're fully rested for your trip that starts like the next day. So, so we had a connecting flight to Detroit because I'm based out of the Pittsburgh area, and unfortunately the plane had technical difficulties, so we missed our flight in Detroit, which was almost like an action movie in itself because I was running as fast as I could to get to our plane, which was on the other side of the airport. So we didn't get to like Phoenix until like 9 or 10 o'clock your time. So
Not much to do then.
no, it would have been nice to see the scenery because it was at the Four Seasons
Mm,
up there in Scottsdale. I think that's what it was.
nice, nice. Yeah, yeah. That's a good area up there. Scottsdale's nice. We're in the East Valley. Um, but yeah, there's plenty to do outside, and especially in the wintertime. And I mean, in the summertime too, you just got to be smart and go early in the morning and make sure you have plenty of water, and electrolytes, to be honest. So,
Gotta hit that Gatorade. So yeah.
yep,
Actually, I'm
definitely.
curious. Did you ever put like a chicken wing out to see how much it would cook?
No, I've never done that egg or cookies or I haven't done that, but I can probably tell you that's probably very accurate from the videos. Yeah, it's people have no idea how hot it gets. It's freaking crazy how hot it gets.
Maybe just more so natural heat than it is like with humidity and both natural
Yeah,
mixed together.
yeah. I mean, this year it was a little more humid. It seemed like than it has been, but yeah, it's a dry heat for sure. So it's different. You can actually go in the shade and actually feel a little bit of relief, if you can find some, that is. A building or there ain't too many trees, but building or something. But I love it down here. I'm not a snowbird, I don't like snow too much. Nobody knows how to drive in that shit anyway. So I prefer dry roads and you know. So
Yeah, let's see why. So actually, I was gonna say it's please don't drive like what you see like on I think it's Interstate 4 where Missouri is, where the all those bad crashes always seem to happen right there because nobody takes it easy when the blizzard blows through.
yeah, yeah. It just amazes me how many accidents are. Which I know stuff happens, but geez, just slow down.
He's off the pedal though, Jeff Gordon, as we would say. So, okay. Now for the next one right here, I know we talked a good number of movies so far. So I guess
Yeah.
which one would you consider as your favorite movie? And if you have a favorite TV series, go ahead.
Ooh, movie. I don't know. I love movies. The Rockies and Rambos. Those are just nostalgic. I love um, horror movies. That's a tough one too. I like so many. Just like music. I couldn't even choose one band that I love. You know what I mean? I just love music. I could go. Okay, put it this way. I could listen to music and not watch TV for the rest of my life. Like if I had music, I could do that. No problem. Because I listen to music all day during my job, um, during my workout, um, and yeah, there's just even if I've heard the song a million times, I just love music. Um, however, TV shows, I would say my favorite that I don't know if I can narrow it down, but I'll give you my top couple anyway. Would be The Office, the U.S. version, and King of Queens is probably another top favorite. Um, I love comedy as well. If it's not horror, it's comedy. Um, but yeah, I would say that's probably my top favorites. Yeah,
Was there a different Office, like a UK version or something?
that's the original. That was the original as it started in the UK. Ricky Gervais, he's the one that he was the Michael Scott in the UK, but they started it and then we came up with it after the fact. And I think Ricky Gervais was part of the US version as well. So I think he was like a producer or something on it. But
I think it was.
yeah, yeah, The Office. I don't know. I think I'm like 7 or 8 times that I've watched that thing front to back, something like that. And then I do like Game of Thrones. I really love that show. That was pretty good too.
At least the first 4 seasons. Then it started waning after the next four. So yeah.
I mean, I came in after the fact, so like everybody was telling me, "Oh, season 8 sucks," and I didn't think it was that bad, but like I said, I came into it after the fact, and I I'd watched watched it in a row, and I thought it was good. I mean, but like anything, it's hard to be badass one through whatever the whole time.
I guess. But I would say that's probably the easy way. I think if everybody had just came in like after the fact, that probably would have been so much better.
Yeah, yeah,
So they'll do like a critical reevaluation like 10 years or so later. Be like,
right,
it would be
right.
too harsh to judge this. So,
Well, and like for me, um, I don't. I think the apps have gotten smart because people like to binge watch and then they just get rid of the app, so they lose money, right? So I think now a lot of these apps are changing so they put them out every week now, just like regular TV. So they have to keep on the app longer than they would have if they would just watched it all in that 2 days, you know. So they at least get an extra month or two out of them. But yeah, I prefer watching. Like probably most people. I prefer binge watching than just waiting till the next week till it comes out. It's like just like House of Dragon. I didn't realize it was one episode. This came out last year I think or something, 22 or something. But I started 23 maybe. But I saw the episode and it's like, oh wait, you gotta wait till next week to watch the episode. I said, no, I'm gonna wait till the season's done, and I still haven't even gone back, and I think season two's done already. So I gotta go back and watch that. But but yeah, I don't know. I'm sure most people are like that too. But I don't want to start something until it's all out because I don't want to be, because there's so much to watch, and it's like you watch certain things, and then it's like, well, you have to go back to the first episode that you watched because you're like you forgot because you watched so many other shows, you forgot what the heck happened, and so I'd rather just watch it all at once, not miss anything.
Yeah, then you go back to the first season when season 2's coming up. You're like, wait, what happened in the first season? You have to
Yeah.
evaluate.
I still have to watch the first season still because we just watched that one episode and then just never got to it, and so yeah, I'm gonna have to start that one all over again.
Tragic, isn't it? So okay. I
First
think the
world
problem is
problems.
House of Dragon. I think season 3 is not till like 2026 because I think they're doing another spin-off of the Game of Thrones. That's the Dunk and Egg series.
Oh, okay,
I think,
cool.
so I think they're coming out with that one in 2025, and then they'll get back to House of Dragon in 2026.
Jeez, that's gonna
Oh,
piss some people off probably.
oh yeah, I already beat you to it. Okay. It's a great choice there, nonetheless.
Yeah.
For the next one right here, I don't know if you drink any alcohol, but if you do, what would you say is your favorite alcoholic drink, and then what's your favorite non-alcoholic drink?
So I've never drank until the October this last month. I never drank, and we started grabbing just little shooters here and there just to see what we liked, and I don't know if I could say what my favorite is, although I do like salted caramel Crown or the blackberry Crown. I like the flavored Crowns basically. Um, the Goldschlager is pretty good. The Jaeger's not too shabby. Um, I don't know if I have a favorite, to be honest. Um, but those are some of the ones I do like. Some of the bourbon and whiskeys are a little too harsh for me still, so I gotta wean it, slowly gravitate. But I do have a couple. Yeah, I do have a couple of those that I try and sip on here and there, and then regular Jack. Um, but yeah, just starting to get into it. We're not looking to get a divorce over it or create a bad habit over it, but just now that I'm pushing 50 almost, so it's like can live a little bit. The kids out of the house, relax a little bit, enjoy life.
That's party. So yeah, and,
Yeah, pretty-
I was gonna say it did sound like you were real big into like the Crown Royal sort of
yeah, yeah,
beverages. So yeah,
yeah. Well, when I was a kid, I remember getting those purple bags, right? And so that's the half the other reason why I was like going to gravitating to Crown. Well, a lot of people were telling me that the Crown apple was good and some of these flavors were really good, and so half the reason was to try that, but also half the reason was to get the bags. So I got 4 bags now.
to make good
Yeah.
Christmas wrapping gifts if that's what we wanted to use it for.
Yeah, well, I bought new guitar strings and I have like 4 packs, and so I put them in one of the bags, and I just got to figure out what else. Probably put some picks in one, guitar picks, and figure out some other uses for the other 2.
I'm telling you should use it for Christmas. So maybe for like
Yeah,
smaller, obviously for the smaller gifts, but
yeah.
make it work. Okay. Did you say what your favorite non-alcoholic drink was?
I mean, I've been trying to get rid of energy drinks, um, and just do like black coffee. But yeah, I don't know. I really drink mainly water. And down here, especially in the summertime, I get these PD light packets for electrolytes, and I put those. But yeah, I don't really have a favorite. I wouldn't say. Yeah, I just drink a lot of water and electrolytes, and now it's occasional shots here and there.
Would you circle E, all the above? So there you
Yeah.
go. We'll make
Yep.
that life easy. So yeah,
Yep.
hey, good choices there. And I know you were talking about songs earlier, but unfortunately, I have to ask that question here too. So
Sure.
if it makes it easy, maybe let's like top five. So like, what would you say is your top five from like the mainstream? And if you got like top five from the indie community, like go ahead.
Top songs. I know there's a go-to. The band's called Nemec. Um, I believe they're from Denmark, but their song "Ghost" is always a go-to for me. Like at the gym. That's such a good song. And I can kind of hear when I show people it's his voice a little bit has some Rob Zombie, a little distortion or whatever he does to his vocals a little bit in some of his vocal, but it's such a good just the riff and the beat and everything, just such a solid song. Um, Bleed is a classic from Meshuggah. Naturally, that's a great song. Um, there's the Devastated, which they only had one album, but I would say probably I think the song's called Tongue in Cheek, but that whole album is fantastic. I wish I would have wrote that album. That would have been epic. That album is just front to back, just so good. Um, Other than that, I mean, I love the Devil Driver's second album. And what is it? End of the Line. That's a great song. But yeah, for me, music is like life, so it's so hard to narrow down, songs because I love music. Um, but those are probably the top ones that I can think of at this time.
Those are great choices. Though I would say, no matter how many times I may listen to Meshuggah's Bleed, I don't think I'll be able to replicate his double bass pattern.
Bro,
That's the only hard part about it. So,
right?
the arms are easy because they're just keep
Oh
flipping
yeah,
the beat.
that's basic beat really, but I seen somebody what they did was they switched the kick and the tom. So the tom was on the top, so you do it with your hands, and then you do the snare and I think you do the snare with your feet. So it's just a lot more easy, to do. There's a video of that.
That guy's got a lot of time on his hands too if he
Right?
was just trying to stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean,
Huge prop to Thomas Hawk. So make it happen.
Yeah.
Or Hake. I don't know how you pronounce it in Swedish. So I'm sorry.
Yeah. Something like that.
Tom H. We'll just do it that way.
There you go. Yeah.
I'll keep it simple. Okay. But great choices there nonetheless.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Mick, we briefed through questions here. So we are down to one more question, I guess. So before we jump into it, would you like to ask me anything or just give any final words before we jump into it?
Where are you from, by the way? I never got that. Did you say?
I said Pittsburgh.
Okay, I thought that's what you said when you said Pittsburgh, because I used to live near Pittsburgh back 24 years ago. Near
in Pennsylvania?
Yeah, over in Greensburg.
Jeez, you were that close, man.
Yeah.
Oh, something. Yeah. Actually, what were you doing in Greensburg at the time?
Being stupid girl.
That's sort of bad relationships.
Yeah. I moved over there. I love traveling, so I moved over there. I was like, shit, I'll go over there. I don't mind. And it's funny because back then my team was the Steelers. So I was like, shit, this is crazy coincidence that I found this girl over here. And so I moved over there, and yeah, it was cool. I liked it. Pittsburgh was cool. I went to one game over there. They got their asses handed to them, of course. But yeah, it was cool. I loved it over there.
Yeah, Pittsburgh. I've been born and raised. Never really went anywhere outside of college, to be honest. So
yeah, right on. Yeah.
Was there anything else?
Who are your favorite bands?
Is it mainstream or also an indie?
Whatever. Yeah, whatever.
I guess I'll try something similar. So between the Bear to me, in terms of mainstream, I was real big into Misery Index and
Mm.
Dying Fetus.
Okay.
Then Nile was really crept up there. I listened to them a good bit.
So you like death then, huh?
The band death or death
No,
metal?
just death metal. You like a
Uh,
lot of death.
I do like a lot of death metal. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, I branch out to other metals, but pretty much
Right.
whenever I want something to give me a little stress therapy or something like that too, I'll turn that on.
Nice.
So somebody talking about like brutality and that sort of stuff, maybe even brutal murders.
Mm.
So indie is kind of a little tough because sometimes I'll give them like a couple listens, and mainly it's also like study their music and everything here too. So I know Fans Capped was on the list. Those guys from Sweden.
Who?
And, Fans Capped.
I don't know.
Check them out.
That's-
It's FANSKAPT.
Okay. Oh, I don't know. I have to look it up. It almost sounds familiar, but I'm not sure.
There's them, and then trying to remember. I know Storm Kingdom, and then I've also listened to TJ's Wait at the Bridge whenever he was doing
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah, he's got it going on.
I think Joe Bowie, yeah, or Joe Boo. I always keep saying Bowie. Sorry. So
Baba Booey.
Baba Booey, that'll do you. But Joe Boo, and actually, I think it was more so his band Rain of Fire, but I know he's done like a few other groups as well here too.
Hmm. That's cool.
I have to give it those ones, but that's
Yeah,
pretty
like
much
you
about it
said,
right there.
there's just so many bands out there that it's hard to narrow it down, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
So a good thing, but it's a bad thing at the same time.
Right? Plethora
Yeah.
of things to choose from, but like you say, you can get lost and not find some other good shit, you know?
So many bands, so little time.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, man.
There you go.
Cool. Yeah.
Anything else?
No, I think that's good.
All right. There's nothing else here too. Let's jump to the final question. So here's how it goes. So given what COVID's done, obviously COVID wasn't really much of a bad thing. I know you went through pretty much a hardship there with the financial crisis and then trying to rebuild your life afterwards there too, which was like you started there kicking some ass and everything there too. But for those musicians and people who've been impacted by COVID or anything else in their lives, like addiction, financial struggles, and that sort of stuff, what's sort of message of hope you get to those musicians and people as we try to move forward with their lives?
Um, if you need help, you got to ask for it. Let's just put that out there. If you're struggling, don't be shy to ask for some help. I mean, um, yeah, there's nothing wrong with asking for help. Um, but yeah, just don't give up the fight. Everybody has bad days. I mean, it's it's something that everybody goes through. So yeah, just don't lose faith. Things there's always down days, but there's a lot of good days too. So just hang in there.
Spoke like a true prodigy. So, yeah. Just real quick, can you show off your tattoos there real quick?
Oh yeah. I feel like a poser now because these are straight edge fucking X's. Now I have cigars and have a few drinks, so I might need to get that shit covered up.
Actually, you have a neck tattoo?
Yeah.
So it's like a bottomless pit or like a hollow hole, or like an anime I watch called Bleach.
It's an eclipse, yeah.
That'll do. Okay,
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
yeah.
So, Mick, we breezed through all the questions, and we're at the end of my podcast right here. And it's a little over an hour and 20 some minutes, but I guess before we close out, got any shout outs? Want to give any final words before we close?
Yeah, if you can check us out, like I said, any streaming app, shovelmonster.com, any merch or anything related, we're on Facebook and IG as we stated. Yeah, shout out to Phase B Records for having us over with them. We're excited to take that next step. And shout out to Joseph, my singer, and TJ waiting at the bridge to fill in for this next album, and just excited for the next chapter. So, and of course, thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
I'd say, hey, thanks for responding real quick. Actually, I was in Austin when I texted you.
Okay.
I was there for a wedding, so I wasn't just staying there a couple days. So
Nice.
it's a good thing it all worked out here too. The day after Thanksgiving. So
Yeah. I took this whole week off, so I was pretty available. So,
perfect
but yeah,
timing.
much appreciated.
No worries. And just real quick, just for Ryan's sake, can you list what social media you're on so I can check you out?
Yeah, Facebook, Instagram. That's pretty much where we post all the time. Like I say, I've been slowing down a little bit on those, but that's usually where you can find any information about us. You can search us in YouTube or any streaming services that you like. Yeah, any questions, or I'm usually available on Messenger on Facebook or IG. So
That's cool. And
yeah.
I'm really sorry I forgot to ask this earlier, but your logo, I'm seeing here right too. I guess what is it, and I guess who came up with it?
So originally it was obviously Shovel Monster. We wanted to shovel the shovel spade, and then the first original logo was some sickles, and then I updated it, and it's like a skeleton now, but it's still that spade.
Try to look at it too. It's almost like kind of making like a little bit of a skull or something, or along those lines. Or it's like kind of mixing it with like those reapers you see, or scythes.
Yeah, the sickles.
Sickles, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of representing that as well, but more like a skull, and a spine, and so yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. I had to make sure I get that in real quick here too. So
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah, I
To
love
close
that
out.
logo. Yeah.
Okay. But to close out like this. Everyone, my guest today was Mick, hailing from the lovely state of Arizona. He's part of the band Shovel Monster. Get the fist, all that stuff. So he's got a new album coming out right here too. He's in collaboration with TJ Garcia, and you say his name's Joseph from Mississippi.
Yeah, Mississippi his band's Encircled Throne.
Circle Throne. Okay. So
Yeah.
I should say he's in cahoots with those guys, but unfortunately that makes him look like a bad guy. So he's in collaboration with these guys. So
Yep.
but you go hit him on all streaming platforms. Go support him on social media and everything here too. Let's go help our brother out there too. So Nick, thank you again so much again for coming on here, mate. So I know we're a little late, but happy Thanksgiving nonetheless. So you stay safe because it is a crazy world out there. Rock on.
Thank you. Back at you.
And stay tuned, y'all. Let's get pose.